Have you ever caught yourself wondering, am I still doing better than most people my age? Maybe it's while tying your shoes without help, remembering someone's name from years ago, or simply walking across the room without a second thought. These small moments often go unnoticed, but they may hold the secret to something much bigger. You see, after the age of 65, certain abilities quietly begin to fade for most people, but for a rare few, they don't. And that difference, it's not just impressive, it's predictive. Doctors and researchers have discovered a handful of subtle yet powerful signs that someone is not just aging well, but thriving in a way that could add years, possibly even a decade or more to their life. Today, we'll explore 7 of these remarkable abilities. You may be surprised to find that some of them are already part of your daily life, while others might become your next goal. So stay with me, and let's take a closer look at what makes some seniors truly exceptional and how you might be one of them without even knowing it. Sign 1. You can stand up from a chair without using your hands. If you're between the ages of 65 and 80 and can still rise from a chair without using your hands, take a quiet moment to be proud you've just revealed something exceptional about yourself. It may seem like a small thing, just standing up, but in truth, it speaks volumes about your strength, balance, and independence. Most people don't realize it, but by the time many reach their 70s, more than half can no longer perform this simple act without bracing or pushing off. And that's why what you can do is worth honoring. Let me tell you about a woman named Eleanor. She's 74, a retired nurse living in Oregon. One afternoon at her church luncheon, she noticed something. After the meal, as everyone began to rise from the table, most of her friends reached out for the table edge, someone's arm, or leaned heavily forward with both hands pressing against their knees. But Eleanor, she stood up without a second thought, back straight, arms relaxed, no wobble or sway. She didn't do it to show off. It was just instinct. But when she looked around and saw the difference, it struck her. This wasn't just strength. This was freedom. That small movement reflected years of unconscious choices: the stairs she kept climbing, the walks she didn't skip, the mornings she chose to stretch instead of sleep in. And because of those choices, she had preserved something far more valuable than muscle: her ability to take care of herself. You can test yourself right now. Sit in a sturdy chair, cross your arms gently over your chest, then try to stand up smoothly without using your hands or leaning forward too much. If you can do it with ease, you're not just fit, you're rare, and your body is telling a story of resilience that many wish they could still live out. But what if it's difficult for you? Don't be discouraged. This isn't about shame, it's about hope. You can improve. Start by doing what Eleanor now recommends to everyone in her walking group: 5 chair stands a day. Sit, cross your arms, stand slowly, controlled, and repeat. If 5 feels too much, begin with 1. Build from there. What matters most isn't how you start, it's that you do start. After just a few weeks of practice, many seniors report that they can stand more easily, walk with greater confidence, and feel steadier on their feet. These little gains compound, and over time, they protect you from falls, keep you out of wheelchairs, and preserve the beautiful rhythm of everyday life. So the next time you rise from a chair, do it mindfully. Feel the strength in your legs, the coordination in your core, the balance in your step. Because this ability is not just a movement, it's a quiet triumph. It says, I'm still strong, I'm still capable, I'm still me. Your independence doesn't vanish with age. It's protected by the actions you take today. So start small, stay consistent, and remember, something as simple as standing tall could be the very thing that helps you live longer, live stronger, and live on your own terms. Sign 2. You can have a conversation while walking. If you're able to walk at your usual pace and carry on a full conversation without pausing to catch your breath, then pause for a moment, not to rest, but to celebrate. This is more than just a pleasant ability. It's a powerful, often overlooked sign that your body and mind are aging remarkably well. Most people don't realize how rare this becomes with time. In fact, many seniors unconsciously slow their pace or fall silent when they begin to talk while walking. It feels natural, almost unnoticeable. But to the trained eye, it's a clue. It signals how well your brain, heart, and muscles are still working together in harmony. Dr. James Wilson, a respected neurologist at the Mayo Clinic, has spent decades studying this. He refers to it as dual task capacity, your brain's ability to coordinate multiple physical and cognitive demands at once. When you can walk and talk at the same time, Dr. Wilson says, it means your body is using oxygen efficiently, your blood is flowing well to your brain, and your neural circuits are staying sharp. And when these systems begin to decline, this ability is often one of the first to fade. Let me tell you about Walter, a 75-year-old retired postman from Michigan. Every morning, rain or shine, he joins a group of neighbors for a brisk walk around the park. While others gradually began to fall silent during their strolls, needing to focus just on their steps, Walter could still discuss last night's news, share stories from his youth, or even recite lines of poetry without missing a beat. He never thought much of it. It just felt natural. But at his annual checkup, his doctor was astounded. Walter's pulse, blood pressure, and mental sharpness were all far better than average. You know, the doctor said, what you think is ordinary is actually extraordinary. 3 years later, many in Walter's group had faced serious health challenges, strokes, memory loss, reduced mobility. Walter, on the other hand, was still walking, still talking, and still thriving. What once felt like a simple pleasure had been quietly preserving his mind and body all along. You don't need a treadmill or fancy training to build this gift, just your 2 feet and your voice. On your next walk, try speaking out loud, recite a favorite poem, count backward from 100 dollars, sing your favorite tune under your breath. If you find yourself short of breath or losing your words, that's okay. Start small. Practice just 30 seconds at a time. Let it be playful, not stressful. This isn't a performance, it's brain and body training. Gently rewiring your pathways to stay strong. Don't wait. Every day you walk and talk, you're not just passing the time, you're reinforcing one of the most powerful protectors of your independence, your memory, and your vitality. Because being able to share a conversation on a quiet morning stroll isn't just a joy. It's a sign that you, my friend, are still fully alive in every sense of the word. Sign 3, you can balance on 1 foot for 10 plus seconds. Try this with me for just a moment. Stand near a countertop or a sturdy chair. Now lift 1 foot slightly off the ground and hold it there. Don't lean. Don't grab anything. Just breathe and balance. Can you make it past 10 seconds? If so, you may have just revealed one of the most powerful signs of longevity that science has uncovered. It may seem like a silly little test. After all, what difference could a few seconds of standing on 1 foot really make? But according to a groundbreaking study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, the answer is startling. Researchers followed over 700 adults aged 51 to 75 and discovered that those who couldn't maintain their balance on one leg for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of dying within the next 10 years, even after accounting for age, gender, and pre-existing conditions. Just let that sink in for a moment. This simple act of balance turned out to be a stronger predictor of mortality than many major medical indicators. But beyond the numbers, this is also a story of 2 sisters, Eleanor and Patricia. Eleanor, now 74, had always been curious about aging gracefully. After retiring from her work as a school librarian, she started incorporating small balance exercises into her daily routine. Brushing her teeth, she'd do it standing on 1 foot, waiting for the kettle to boil. Same thing. Patricia, her older sister, used to tease her. What are you training for? The Senior Olympics, she'd laugh. To her, balance seemed like something children practiced in dance class, not something grown women needed to worry about. Then, one winter afternoon, Patricia slipped on a damp kitchen floor. The fall fractured her hip and began a long, painful journey through surgery, rehab, and the loss of her independence. Eleanor never said I told you so, but she quietly doubled down on her commitment to protect her mobility. Today, she still hikes with friends, tends her rose garden without fear, and feels steady on her feet inside and out. That's the real power of balance. It isn't just about standing on one leg, it's about walking without hesitation, stepping into the shower with confidence, reaching for something on a shelf without the fear that this moment could lead to a fall and a life forever changed. And here's the best part, this ability can be improved at any age. If holding your balance feels hard today, don't be discouraged. Start small, stand near a counter and lift 1 foot for 5 seconds. Do this 3 times on each side, every single day. Over time, increase to 10 seconds. Then 15. Tie this habit to something you already do, like brushing your teeth or waiting for your morning coffee. Make it part of your rhythm, part of your strength. Because balance isn't just a physical skill, it's a quiet kind of confidence that says, I can trust my body. And that trust, that's what allows you to keep dancing, traveling, gardening, and living life on your own terms. So stand tall, friend. The steadier you are today, the more freedom you'll carry into all your tomorrows. Sign 4. You remember names and recent events. Clearly, take a quiet moment to ask yourself when you meet someone new, do you remember their name without hesitation a day or even a week later? Can you recall a recent conversation and the small details that made it meaningful? If your answer is yes, then you are demonstrating something truly remarkable. In a world where memory tends to fade with age, your ability to remember clearly is more than impressive. It's a quiet, powerful sign that your brain is aging exceptionally well. Neuroscientists at Harvard Medical School have found that the capacity to recall names and recent events after age 65 isn't just a lucky accident. It's a sign of preserved brain networks, those intricate, invisible highways in the mind that keep our thoughts sharp, our conversations rich, and our relationships alive. Dr. Emily Carson, a specialist in cognitive aging, puts it simply, forgetfulness is common, but significant memory decline is not a normal part of healthy aging. When someone over 70 still recalls names and conversations effortlessly, it means their brain is holding on to something rare resilience. Let me share a story that brings this to life. Harold, a 76-year-old retired piano tuner from North Carolina, recently attended a family reunion. Grandchildren, nieces, second cousins, people he hadn't seen in years. Yet as each person walked through the door, Harold greeted them by name, recalling what grade they were in, or the last story they'd told him. His daughter laughed in disbelief and said, "Dad, you've got a better memory than all of us combined." But what they didn't see was the quiet work Harold did behind the scenes. Daily habits that nourished his mind, the same way a good diet nourishes the body. And the science backs this up. Adults over 65 who continue to remember names and events well have been shown to have a 47% lower risk of developing dementia. Even more inspiring, they often live 7 to 10 years longer than those whose memory begins to fade. So this isn't just about remembering birthdays or recognizing a neighbor. It's about preserving your independence, your relationships, and the story you're still writing with every new day. The good news, you can strengthen this ability starting today. It begins with something simple when you meet someone new. Say their name out loud. Nice to meet you, Sandra. Then notice one unique thing about them, a scarf, a voice, a hobby they mention. Before bed, gently review the people you encountered that day. Say their names in your mind. Picture their faces. This tiny ritual, done consistently, builds the neural paths that keep your recall strong. And if memory already feels like a struggle sometimes, don't lose heart. Begin with one name a day. Practice gently, without judgment. The brain, like any muscle, responds to use. What you strengthen now will carry you forward tomorrow. So don't accept forgetfulness as the price of growing older. Your ability to remember isn't just a tool, it's a treasure. Protect it, nurture it. And know that every name you recall is a quiet affirmation. Your mind is still full of life, full of light, and fully capable of thriving. Sign 5. You sleep soundly and wake refreshed. How did you sleep last night? Not just whether you got through the night, but did you truly rest? Did you wake up feeling clear-headed, steady on your feet, and ready for the day ahead? If your answer is yes, then take a quiet moment to appreciate what a gift that truly is. At a time when many people over 65 find themselves waking up groggy, restless, or still exhausted, your ability to enjoy deep, uninterrupted sleep is more than a comfort. It's a rare and powerful sign of exceptional aging. According to leading sleep researchers at Stanford University's Center for Sleep Sciences, quality sleep becomes significantly harder to maintain as we grow older. Hormonal changes, health conditions, medications, and even lifestyle patterns all play a role in disrupting our natural rhythms. And yet, those who manage to preserve efficient sleep cycles, who drift off naturally and wake up refreshed, gain more than just a better mood. They gain years, literally. Dr. Richard Thompson, a renowned expert in geriatric sleep health, explains older adults who consistently achieve deep sleep have significantly lower inflammation, sharper mental clarity, and up to a 32% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Sleep is where the body restores its magic. Let me tell you about Lorraine, a 77-year-old former art teacher from Colorado. While many of her peers relied on sleep aids and still struggled through the day with fatigue, Lorraine had a different rhythm. She ended each evening with a warm herbal tea, a familiar book, and quiet music, never a television or a phone screen. She went to bed and woke up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Her doctor once remarked that her sleep efficiency was on par with someone decades younger. She didn't always know why she felt so vibrant, but it was clear that her restful nights were quietly fueling her extraordinary health. If you're not sleeping like Lorraine just yet, don't worry. There are simple, loving ways to reclaim your nights. Begin by creating a consistent routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day. It gives your body rhythm and reliability. Avoid screens an hour before bed. The blue light they emit tricks your brain into staying alert when it should be winding down. Instead, dim the lights. Keep the room cool around 65 to 68 degrees and let darkness cradle your rest. If you wake during the night, try not to look at the clock. That simple glance often stirs unnecessary worry and makes it harder to fall back asleep. And if sleep medications are part of your current routine, know this: while they may help you fall asleep, they don't provide the same deep, healing rest that natural sleep does. Talk to your doctor about transitioning gradually. It may take time, but the reward is immense: more energy, better focus, and a healthier, longer life. Remember, every night of restful sleep is more than a break from the day. It's a silent renewal of your body's strength, your brain's clarity, and your heart's resilience. Those who sleep well after 65 aren't just lucky, they're guarding the very foundation of graceful aging. So tonight, give yourself permission to rest deeply, because the better you sleep, the brighter you'll live. Sign 6. You can hold a meaningful conversation without dominating it. When was the last time you had a conversation that flowed effortlessly, where you spoke, listened, laughed, and truly connected? If you can still sit down with someone and exchange stories without overtaking the conversation or drifting into repetition, then you're doing something rare and truly exceptional. At a time in life when many begin to struggle with memory or social awareness, your ability to engage with presence and balance reveals far more than good manners. It reflects a mind that is aging with grace, sharpness, and compassion. Researchers at UCLA have uncovered something fascinating about this skill. They call it conversational reciprocity, the capacity to not only speak but also listen, to understand timing, tone, and flow. According to Dr. Amanda Sutton, a neuroscientist specializing in aging and social behavior, this ability is directly linked to the health of your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for empathy, impulse control, and executive function. She explains, while most older adults begin to lose these abilities with time, those who can still navigate conversation gracefully are demonstrating signs of exceptional brain preservation. It's not just about being a good talker, it's about the brain's continued ability to read cues, process information, and engage with emotional intelligence. Let me introduce you to Martin, an 81-year-old former jazz musician from Seattle. Martin never considered himself particularly brilliant, but his family and neighbors all say the same thing. Talking to Martin just makes you feel heard. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't drift off. He asks questions, remembers what you told him last time, and somehow always makes room for others to speak. His friends, many of whom are now more withdrawn, still gather at his home weekly, drawn not just by the music, but by the man himself. What Martin never realized was that his graceful way of connecting wasn't just preserving friendships, it was also preserving his brain. If you're wondering how to build or maintain this ability, the path is simple and surprisingly enjoyable. The next time you're in conversation, set a quiet goal in your mind for every story you share. Ask 2 genuine questions, let the other person speak, and practice truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to respond. Try summarizing what they've said before adding your own thoughts. So what you're saying is, or that must have felt. These small phrases create bridges that turn ordinary talk into meaningful connection. And here's a gentle tip: if you notice that you've been talking for more than a minute, without inviting the other person in. Pause, smile, say, "What about you?" This little moment of awareness not only makes you a more cherished conversation partner, it keeps your brain agile and emotionally attuned. By age 75, many adults begin to lose this subtle balance in conversation, but if you still have it or are committed to rebuilding it, you're engaging in one of the most underrated brain exercises available. So the next time someone tells you they enjoy talking with you, take it to heart. They're not just complimenting your social skills, they're pointing to something far deeper, your remarkable capacity to stay present, connected, and alive in spirit. Sign 7. You adapt to new technology without major resistance. Take a moment and think. When was the last time you tried something new with your phone, your tablet, or even your television? Did you download an app, join a video call, or set up an online account? If you did it with curiosity instead of dread, you're doing something truly exceptional. The ability to learn and adapt to technology after age 65 isn't just a convenience. It's a powerful sign of brain resilience, independence, and longevity. According to research from MIT's Age Lab, seniors who embrace digital tools and adapt to technological changes maintain stronger cognitive health over time. Dr. Joseph Coughlin, director of the lab, puts it this way: older adults who stay open to learning new tech are showing superior neuroplasticity. That means their brains are still forming new connections, which is a direct predictor of extended independence and reduced risk of cognitive decline. It's not about being tech-savvy, it's about being flexible, curious, and willing to explore. Let me share the story of Marjorie, a 76-year-old grandmother from Oregon. When smartphones became common, many of her friends waved them off as too complicated or not for our age, but Marjorie leaned in. She took small steps, sending text messages, then video chatting with her grandkids, learning to use health apps to track her medication and steps. When the pandemic came, she was ready. She stayed connected with her family through Zoom, ordered groceries online, managed doctor appointments through digital portals, all while many of her friends struggled, feeling cut off and helpless. And what Marjorie didn't realize was that every time she tried something new, her brain was quietly building new pathways, keeping her mind sharp and her spirit engaged. And the best part, this kind of mental flexibility doesn't depend on having been raised with technology. It's not about age, it's about attitude. If you've ever said, "I'm too old to learn this," I invite you to change the thought to, "I haven't learned this yet." That one small shift changes everything. It opens a door in the brain and tells it, keep growing. So what can you do today? Start with something you've been avoiding: a feature on your phone, an app you've never opened, or a digital service you've been hesitant to try. Choose one and give yourself just 10 minutes a day. Search for a tutorial online, ask a grandchild or friend for help, or simply explore with gentle curiosity. Make it playful, make it yours. And if technology frustrates you, breathe. You're not failing. You're learning. Every struggle is strengthening your brain's adaptability. It's like a workout for your mind, and the more you do it, the more agile and resilient you become. By age 70, more than 60% of adults resist technological change. If you're one of the few who continues to engage, learn, and adapt, you're not just keeping up with the world, you're preserving your independence, your brain health, and your spark. So keep pressing buttons, asking questions, and exploring. Because every time you learn something new, you're proving something beautiful. You're still growing, still capable, and still exceptional. These 7 abilities are more than just skills. They are quiet signs of strength, resilience, and a life well lived. If you still carry even a few of them with ease, you're not just aging, you're thriving. And if some of them feel out of reach right now, remember, every step you take toward improvement, no matter how small, makes a difference. These are the foundations that support your independence, your clarity, and your joy in the years ahead. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to comment. Still going strong? I'd love to know where you stand. And if you'd like more simple ways to strengthen these exact abilities, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be, and the best chapters of your story might still be ahead. Keep going. You're doing better than you think.